Okay, my name is Munzali Ahmadu Dantata. I went to Ahmadu Bello University and graduated in 1980. I was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1981, and I did a brief stint with Kano State Ministry of Justice before I went into business. Initially, I started a law firm, but along the way, I deviated and I did more commercial business than law practice. When I had to do my master's in law in American University in Washington, D.C., and then I went back to Ahmadu Bello University and did my PhD, all in law. I incorporated my company called All States Nigeria Limited, and which has All States Travel and other subsidiary companies. I was born in Kano and raised in Kano, and first went to school in Kaduna. I was 5 years old when I was sent to Kaduna. My parents have heard about this new boarding school for children called Kaduna Capital School. So it took a year before I was admitted into the boarding section, because at 5 I was considered too young. So all my life I've been commuting first between Kano and Kaduna by rail, then now Kano, Kaduna, Abuja. So I'm 68 years old now, and for all these years I've been commuting between, first to Kaduna and then to Abuja. And the railway, played a significant part in the 60s when, it was the major means of transport all over the country. Vehicles were used mainly within town, but any railway city, from Kano all the way to Lagos, through Kaduna, through Jebba, through Ibadan, Abeokuta, the railway was always there, even for the elite. Everybody used the railway. But along the way, the railway was neglected, ignorantly relegated to the past, that now there is a vehicle, there are roads, which we all travel. And shamelessly, when we travel, we take the rail, around Europe and also in America, not to talk of the city railway, the London Underground. So the railway, will always be there because it has its own purpose. So I grew up very fond of the railway because it's an integral part of my childhood. Taking the railway to Kaduna and also driving around Kano, and also hearing the railway in bed when it arrives, our compound, which is not far. And then also when I went to boarding secondary school after I returned from Kaduna, and I went to a boarding secondary school in Kano, we also hear the railway, passing by on its way to Apapa, Lagos. So it's a pity. But as I said, earlier on in this interview, I'm very happy that now government is turning back at the railway, and I think it's the correct thing. And I would like to see the day when we have even the metro in Abuja, just like it has started working in Lagos, and I hope it will be expanded. They will easily take care of 90% of the problem, because most of the workers will be taking the railway, especially between Abuja and Kefi, between Abuja and Suleja, and also around Abuja, and the same thing with Lagos. These are the two major cities that are already developing metro lines, but other cities will also catch up. And it's a pity. I think part of the problem is that we don't have any railway industry. I don't know, because I am ignorant about that. But I happen to know that the Chinese, who are the leading, and the Indians, they didn't invent railway. They got the railway, the Indians got railway from Britain, and the Chinese got railway from United States. And today they are two leading manufacturers of coaches and all that. So we didn't invest in the railway. Otherwise Nigeria, could also be, first of all, taking care of its own railway, not to talk of maybe, you know, supplying other countries and also taking care of their engines. So I'm very happy, and I hope this work we are all doing, including the legacy, will now turn attention back to the role it played in our history, the creation of Nigeria, and then also what it could do to Nigeria. Not only what it did, but what it could also still do. So with this note, I would like to say that the future generation in whose hands, you know, the next generation and also the young generation today, in whose hands our future lie, will take note of that, will try to, you know, build on the mistakes that our parents and we made in neglecting an institution like the railway, and also even the economy, when we now became mentally lazy and stopped producing and just relying on the oil, you know. And so in diversifying the economy and also diversifying our transport system, you know, every system is important. The air is important. It takes you to places within the shortest time. So you know, you not underrate, you know, what the airlines are doing, you know. And the sea also, heavy duty goods, you know, naturally they cannot go by air, they go by sea, you know. And also heavy duty, you know, land, you know, when they are looking for the land transport, it will be by rail. And then the motor vehicle will take you from your house to your friend's house, and also from, you know, warehouse to warehouse. So every one of them has its own role to play in every transport system. But unfortunately, you know, both the people and the policy makers, you know, got it wrong in neglecting the railway.